Back to Weather 101. I'm here with meteorologist Austin Powell. Today we're doing an experiment, Austin. We're talking about measuring pressure. So let's first define the tool that we use to measure atmospheric pressure.
And that would be the barometer. So you may be asking, well, why do we use a barometer? As Gracie said, it just measures the atmospheric pressure. You may sometimes hear it referred to as the barometric pressure. They are the same, though. It measures the weight of the air that's pressing down in a given area. So sometimes we'll say, oh, we're having high pressure right now. Well, with high pressure, we'll talk about high pressure means that we got more air sinking towards the ground. And you know, whenever we have that sinking air, we'll have pleasant weather conditions. Most of the time, clear skies or mostly clear skies. But on the other hand, whenever we have low pressure,
we have air rising. So rising air means we've got clouds, we've got storms, we've got some unsettled weather in the mix. So anytime a low pressure, even sometimes associated with a cold front, comes through, we're dealing with some nastier weather. And I always say happy weather is associated with a high pressure. So that's how you can remember it. H for happy and high, a low, just not always the best weather.
Because whenever you have the high pressure, that's sinking air. So happy, we'll have the clear skies. But whenever you have lower pressure, that allows for more rising air. As air rises, it condenses. The condensing allows for clouds to form. We'll have more moisture. So that's how we get more rain and thunderstorms. You talked about with cold fronts. That's how we'll have low pressure systems.
Absolutely. And this is crucial that we know the barometric pressure in the atmosphere when it comes to weather forecasting. So today we're going to make our own barometer, and this is something you're going to have to take outside to see the effects, but it's actually a really cool experiment, Austin.
Yes, so the barometer is easy to make. All you need is a glass jar here. I'll zoom in on the jar here. We've got a glass jar. We're also going to have a balloon. So we've already cut the balloon here. You just cut the balloon, and then I'll turn it this way so you can see. We just stretched the balloon across the top of it. We've got a straw here. This is going to be our indicator of high or low pressure, because whenever we got more air pushing down on this balloon, it's going to cause our straw to rise. Lower pressure, it will sink down.
Absolutely, because that air is going to rise up and push the balloon up, which this will in turn push the high, or push it towards the low, which we'll show you that in a second, because we also need a poster board, or you could use an index card. And so we've already walked through a few of those steps. We have drawn the line in the middle there to indicate where our measuring device is going to stay when it's neutral, but when the pressure gets higher, it is going to point to the high pressure. When it gets lower, of course, point to the big L. So we've done that for you already, but I am going to walk them through what I did with the balloon and with the straw, if you want to tell them how we got those.
So we got the balloon here. We're just going to cut it roughly in half, generally in half. You just need enough of that balloon that's going to allow you to stretch it around the lid of the jar here. You can see we've already stretched it along this jar, but that's what Gracie's doing, cutting the balloon. You can discard that second half of the balloon. You don't need it. You just need the top half, the thicker half of that balloon. Stretch it along the lid of the jar. Once we do that, that's when our straw comes into play. We need our straw to be roughly 6 or 7 inches. We don't need all of the straw, so Gracie's measuring that. She's going to cut the rest of the straw off that we don't need. She is going to make some sharper points on the straw here. That just makes it easier to tell what the straw is pointing at, so she's going to put some sharp edges on that. Okay, so we got the straw cut here. Cut both ends of it. And after you get the pointy ends of the straw made, you just tape it on here. You can see we've already got, if you look here close, we've already got the pointy end of the straw there. We got a pointy end on the other end as well. So we basically got our homemade barometer made at this point. But the way you read it is by lining up your paper, draw a line right through the middle of it, even with the lid of the jar, and that will tell you once we get higher pressure, you'll see if we get higher pressure, more air pushing on this balloon, that straw will rise higher. If it's lower, that straw will sink. So this is just of course, it's not going to be scientific accurate measurements here, but just in general, this will tell you whether we're undergoing high pressure or low pressure. And it's all with ingredients, or not ingredients, we're not making food here, but it's all with items or materials that you will have at home.
Absolutely. You have these materials at home most likely, so try this out in your kitchen or in your house, but keep in mind you're not going to see an instantaneous effect of the high and the low, but you should go out on maybe a good weather day or a bad weather day and you can see the straw moving towards a high or towards a low pressure. So that'll just give you a little bit of an idea of how we forecast when we look for high and low pressures as well. So of course, if you have any weather related questions, please email us at WJTVweather@nexstar.tv, or if you want us to demonstrate an experiment for you making different things, we would love to do that.